Welcome to ECN Trade Daily Video. Before we begin, it should be noted that any advice is of a general nature only and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration. Hello everyone, my name is Rob Clayton and thank you very much for joining me. To start this morning's webinar, you can see the Australian dollar is attempting to try a climb towards that top side of 75.82, that cap that holds around 76.10.15. With the next 24 hours of the risk events of the FOMC, the market now looks towards potential target of the downside of 75.30. I'm holding the bearish view that the market will probably test lower towards that recent low of last week of 74.90 with the support trigger level holding at 80. A break beneath that 74.80 level will give further to the exposure to the downside, and I'll be looking for a move towards 73.60 to 70 as an objective. Fresh advances should still be contained around that level of 76.10.15. The euro overnight, well, since recording a fresh 4-week high of 107.14, the market hasn't looked back. And with the US dollar slowly clawing back some of its gains from the losses of late last week, the market is now looking towards immediate support of 105.55.65. I still hold the bear view that we will get another challenge of 104.55.70 and reassess from there, as we could even be looking towards that near 14-year low of around 103.40.65. As I mentioned, the FOMC coming out in the next 24 hours, or should I say 5 a.m. Sydney time. Any advances towards the upside of a potential weaker dollar coming through would see a cap around 106.60.65 to 107.20.35, and I still expect to see that as a supply zone. The dollar yen outlook is slowly falling away from that 115 handle. Now, in light of the current pattern, for the first 12 hours, I expect to see weakness towards 114.20.25, and beneath there, a firm support holding around that 113.5 level. As I mentioned, 12 hours of weakness, I expect to see eventually a US dollar strength returning and taking on the challenge to the upside. Now, clearing the two hurdles of 115.10.15 and 115.5 would see further risk and a rally to 116 to that 118 region, which is the preferred target once we get this short-term weakness out of the way. Well, overnight the pound weakened further. As you can see, the market tumbled very heavily and records a low of 121.07. Now, in light of the pattern, I do expect to see further weakness, and especially with the UK announcing the Article 50 departure, could actually see the market fall towards a target of 120.60.80 and lower towards that flash crash that happened on the 6th of October around that 118 region, and reassess from there. Any advances should find resistance either from 121.90 to 122.60. The gold is still weak and still holds an objective towards that 11.80 target, and reassess from there. Any advances towards the top side should find resistance either from 12.08 or to 12.12 as a cap. Reassess if we get down towards that target of 11.80, as we could even be looking lower. And as you can see, the downtrend is still holding pretty much around that 12.12 level. And to wrap up with oil, the market has posted a rejection from that 47.70 region. However, I still expect to see the bears return either from around that $49 to $50 handle, and with the resistance firmly lower now around that 50.50 level, should eventually see the market close in on the objective of $45 a barrel and reassess from there. Well, that wraps up my daily video, but as always, look out for my intraday report that will be released very shortly.